my Lord Jesus! Oh my, woo! It's a massacre.
Oh my god. You just smell it. Right there. Push it now.
That's the clip.
What? No. Easy. Unlucky. You did what you could there, you know what I mean?
Yo everyone, what's going on? It's Mike's, and I've got to bring this build to you, man. I should have brought it to you the other day, but you know what? I'm bringing it to you today. I'm not going to give you any blurb, no bullshit. Let's get right into it. I ain't fucking fooling around no more. Here we go. This is a rifle LMG pistol build. Used to say, oh, this is an AR build. Nah, this build is all three weapons. All three of these weapons are significant to the build. The secondary a little less so, but the pistol is a major player. The MDI is a major player. I'm not using M1A because I'm not a scumbag, and I don't aim for body shots. If you use that, my middle finger goes right up to you. Anyway, that's probably half of you. Sorry, mate, but whatever. Fuck it. So what we're using, DNH for pistol damage. We're using a Giller just because it's, look at the piece right there, it's got efficient. Efficient is the key thing here, and that's what it's the best piece I have with efficient. I have the Dodge City Gunslinger holster. It's max roll, so that's one of the reasons I'm using it. The other reason is because I use my mains gun so much, I can literally just whip up my pistol and one shot a squishy guy to the head, no problem. Using a Providence backpack, not because I think Providence is what you should have in a build, I think there could be potentially something better, but it's the best piece that I've got with the stats that it has. It is a placeholder, the weakest piece in a build right here. If you have something better, please use it. I have of course, the Contractors and the Fox's Prayer. That should be without a doubt. You've got to have these two pieces on your build for most builds, even if you aren't using LMG and rifle. But because I like to be efficient, no pun intended, definitely pun intended. You've got to use these two pieces with the corresponding guns. Otherwise, you're going to have to use like a Fenris if you've got an AR. And then I suppose you could put a Fenris here and run an AR secondary. That's definitely possible. But this build here, it's about 90% finished. But the shit that I've done with this build is unparalleled. Like, I swear to God, not a single person in this game has gone on the solo runs that I have gone on with the sustain that this build has, with the power and damage this build has, and the utility that this build has. There isn't a build that can match it. Apart from my other build, and that I've only seen one person at DZ use. One person. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've definitely been challenged a few times with it. A few times. But it's nothing that I didn't pull through on top of in the end. So let's get into the specifics of the build. Right. MDR. Why do I use an MDR? Again, the base headshot damage is 35% higher than every other rifle. That still has not been changed through the various patches. Very nice rate of fire for those of you who have a trigger finger. Very good handling as well. Not the best handling in class, that will be the ACR. If you want really good handling, use that. However, the headshot damage on that is obviously lower, and the damage is significantly lower as well. Of course, the high rate of fire on this, compared to the other rifles anyway, pairs very well with Rifleman. Landing headshots add 10% per headshot, and it lasts for 5 seconds. Max stack is 5. You can refresh it with another headshot, so you can get 5 headshots, shoot no one for 5 seconds, and then get another headshot, and keep that 50% weapon damage throughout. This is basically like having like 3 reds extra in the build, just from landing your headshots. Not the greatest roll, of course, you can see it here. I'm not reliant on crit, so this is not very important anyway. The 5 out of 6% damage to armor is good, although I would rather have damage to targets out of cover, because that goes up to 10. Yes, it's a slightly more conditional, and people do play in cover. However, I found that when I'm landing shots on people in cover, I'm landing the headshot so quick that they get melted anyway. So I'd rather have the damage to targets out of cover, simply because it's a higher value. Okay, for the attachments, we are running accuracy, stability, and then the extra magazine size. Extra magazine size, of course, why wouldn't you have that? For the secondary, things are a little more open. You can use pestilence. Because I am a shield player, some people actually realise, oh well, a good way to counter a shield is actually to use a shield, because I can't then burst them down with a pistol and hit them in the head. If you use a half body shield, you're going to get headshotted. The smart players will bring out the full body shield. Of course, for that I do have an EMP. If they have an EMP and a shield as well, probably going to cause me some problems. However, when that happens, I will keep my range and pepper your shield with a almost max roll pestilence. However, sometimes I do switch things up. If the fight is at range and it's a bit of a stalemate, I will bring out the White Death here with Optimist. I can one-shot the vast majority of squishy players, even fairly tanky. I think I can hit about 900 a mil with this, and I only have 2 red, bear in mind. Of course, the White Death is max roll headshot damage, and that helps a lot. Another weapon that I tend to use is my trusty Negev. Of course, max rolled, frenzy. When I run out with either of my other guns, I reload, swap to this mid, reload, and I will proc the frenzy. It's a lot of damage. However, because I do use the shield with the pistol, it is quite difficult to whip out the shield, empty your pistol, put the shield away, and swap at the critical moment to get frenzy. It's very difficult to do, and I do mess up a lot of the time. However, if you can master that, I do highly suggest you run frenzy as your secondary. Although, really, pick whatever you're most comfortable with. And for the pistol, we're using a Mozambique. I don't think you have to use the Mozambique, although I do recommend any of the 310 RPM pistols. That would include variants of the M45, which this gun is based off of, or the, if we scroll down, the M1911. I crafted this one. I just wanted to get a reasonable roll with Finisher. Finisher is an excellent talent for the pistol, seeing as we don't have Wascally anymore to protect you from foam. I do think that anything that gives you damage, either in the moment, like Breadbasket, to make up for any headshots you do not hit, or Finisher, to make sure that for when you switch back off of the pistol, you are then hitting harder. You can then hit body shots with 30% crit chance or 30% crit damage. It's going to hit you. If you don't spec into anything, any crit at all, and this is the only source of crit you have, it's about a 20% increase in damage for 15 seconds, on average. So, for the pieces, we are using DNH. I was running a Punch Drunk, which is also very good. You get max headshot damage. However, I had health on it, and I find hazard protection to be much more useful. I have about 30% hazard protection on this build, and of course, headshot. If you're a crit guy, go for crit damage, and then get the crit chance from the finisher pistol. We're using a Giller chest. You don't necessarily have to use Giller, although 5% armor is a nice trait to have. Definitely can't go wrong with that. Of course, it rolled max armor, decent headshot damage, so then I rolled the hazard protection on top of that to get some of that. Incoming repair to improve my medkit, which doesn't really need much improving because efficient. Efficient is by far the strongest talent in the game. Yes, I am making that claim. Nothing comes close to the strength of efficient. I have fought 2 people in this game with efficient that aren't part of my crew. Alright, and I tell you something, they are so difficult to kill. In fact, if I'm against them and one other, I probably won't be able to kill them. It is that strong of a talent, perhaps even overpowered. With the increase of the time to kill, you will see a rise in usage of efficient. You see, armor kits are basically, what this wording means is every medkit is likely to count for 2. Likely because it is a 50% chance. It's an internal coin flip, just like Nomad. With the nerf to medkits from 6 to 4, this particular ability gets passively buffed. This is what efficient always used to do. However, it has been given one more thing to balance it with the other talents in the game. What they didn't take into consideration, or rather, what perhaps may be an oversight, is the Fireball medkit in combination with Efficient. Right, next piece. Dodge City. I never had this before. This patch is the first time I've ever had it and used it. It is a max roll. I don't know whether all of them roll like this or whether I got lucky. Headshot damage is my favourite. Weapon handling, definitely not the worst, but not the greatest either, although it is max roll. Basically what this means is for as long as you don't use your pistol, and if you wait 50 seconds, you will have a max stack. That max stack will then deal 1000%, basically 10 times your base damage. So if I'm hit, it's crazy. I don't know if it's the same value in PvP. Let's press the button. Right, it's not quite. It's nerfed in by 5. So you deal twice the damage in PvP. However, that's really strong anyway. This pistol hits so hard anyway, right, that you swap to this on a max stack, you can one-shot squishy players and have a shield in front of you. Really, really strong. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to the build. but it is a max roll piece, and you can't deny a max roll piece when I have really nothing better to put on here. I could potentially put my God roll R&K, not this piece, I have a different piece that is God roll. R&K will give me income and repair, and will increase the strength of my medkit. I already told you that this isn't the best piece that I have in a build. Max armor, I want headshot damage here. If I could, it'll be a better piece, but I have hazard protection. I simply don't have a good enough piece to put here to replace this one here. Energize, just because I'm using a shield at tier 4, and with the mech kit I can basically make myself really tanky in a moment. I know it's got a 60-second cooldown, which sucks. Yeah, I could potentially do with something else here. I don't really want energize, but it's the best piece I've got, and that's what I'm gonna have to deal with, right? Headshot damage, can't complain, right? And of course, let's get to the obligatory 2 pieces in the build. Contractor gloves. I mean, 11% basically constant damage. You can't, and it's multiplicative as well. You've got to have it. Unfortunately, mine rolled with crit chance. I would rather have headshot damage or crit damage. Of course, I have 161 armor. You can get 170. I don't have a piece for that. And of course, the knee pads, the Fox's Prayer, which are almost God roll. I rolled the weapon damage up. Obviously, this always rolls max damage to targets out of cover, and it's multiplicative. And then this headshot damage, just my kind of thing. Of course, I made use of this by actually using a rifle and an LMG. So that pretty much covers the main pieces of the build. The skills. What skills should you use? I think for starters, you've got to have a shield. This patch, it lends itself to using a shield. If you plan on actually going rogue and staying alive, you need to have a shield. Otherwise, you're going to have to fight a rifle guy who's going to body shot 1 or 2 tap you. Why would you ever allow a pleb who has no skill to 1-shot you to the fucking leg? Why? Like, that to me, you got to be stupid to allow that to happen. So I use a full body shield. You run 4 or 5 blues, you make a really tanky shield. And of course, I think, you know, you've got to run an EMP. Reason being, True Patriot is bugged, and I already showed you in my last build video that when people tag you and you have a skill proxy out, and when it expires, or if they EMP it, you will take damage equal to your health and armor. Well, hello, that's a 1-shot. However, it doesn't seem to always work like that. Sometimes if you're at full health, you can survive it. There must be some kind of backward hidden multiplier in there, preventing you from dying at 1 shot. So I use skills that cannot be destroyed. Well, the shield can be destroyed, and when it is destroyed, I think I do take the True Patriot damage. But it's so rare. It is incredibly rare for my shield to die from a True Patriot player. And, yeah. For the mods, I guess it's not really important. I just use charge speed and duration. And here I just run health where possible. Stat sheet for you guys who want to know. I know there's always people who want to know. Here it is. There we go. That just about covers the build. We're going to hop into some more gameplay here. Hope you guys enjoyed the build video. Hope I didn't ramble on too much about efficient. I'm telling you guys, it is the strongest talent in the game by far. Next patch is going to be meta. I'm telling you guys now because it is already meta. So, in a bit, people. In a bit. Hello, follow me, noobie noobie. Oh, why you die? Why you die? Oh, you so trash. Follow me. Hey.
Watch out, he's right too. Yeah, it's too many.
Nice blue items.
Manhunt initiated. System back online.
God, fucking hives. Just die. Accept your death, man. Oh, they brought out the rifles. Nice. GG, man. That's actually quite strong, you know. Level 6, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, noobie, noobie. I've just literally just turned up and shat on everyone. I think I'm gonna run around a bit, maybe play for a second, make it, because I feel like they're gonna start coming at me like, oh, is it that sniper guy?
Striker drone detected.
Oh, the fucking safe room's there, isn't it? I just couldn't hit that other guy. Couldn't hit him, like every bullet just missed.
Agent killed.
Guess that's the downside of a rifle, innit? Sometimes you just get out of sync with the strafe and you miss everything. Why isn't he dying? Fuck me. EMP's not working. Wait, I never even popped it. Fucking hell, how many hives, man? Jesus Christ. Fuck.